Over the decades, DC Comics Supergirl has worn many titles, from Survivor to Sacrifice, and a symbol of rebirth time and time again. But over those years, Kara Zor-El has maintained her place in DC Comics as more than Superman's cousin, and today we're going to tell you why. This is going to be the complete evolution of Supergirl from Silver Age Girl of Steel to today's Woman of Tomorrow. Kara Zor-El's story begins at the end. The end of Krypton was only the beginning of Kara's story, as her home, the city of Argo, survived the planet's destruction, drifting into space within a self-contained dome. Now, although the colony managed, the soil itself began to slowly become poisoned by the kryptonite, leading to radiation poisoning of her people. Her parents, despite their efforts to shield the city, failed, and they sent Kara Zor-El to Earth to be raised by her cousin, Kal-El, also known as Superman, giving her a costume that matched his own. While trying to blend in with humans, Kara dons a brunette wig and takes the identity of Linda Lee, an orphan staying at Midville Orphanage. Now, she doesn't necessarily save people as frequently as Superman. In fact, she would save people on a person-to-person basis, opting to perform good deeds opposed to Superman's need to save the world. After some time passed, Superman would then introduce Kara to the public as Supergirl, where she would then forge her own path, eventually being adopted by Fred and Edna Danvers. Kara would later change her name to Linda Lee Danvers and attend Midville High School, where she, much like Clark in his younger years, would befriend a Luthor, Lena Thurl to be exact, who would act as her confidant, keeping her secret identity. After high school, Kara joined a long line of superheroes who had a pet companion. She has Streaky the Supercat and Comet the Magic Horse. The latter, a magical horse who fell in love with Kara because he was once human. Kara would eventually befriend other heroes like Batgirl and the Legion of Superheroes, even gaining membership with the latter. And by the end of the Silver Age, Supergirl is an established hero in her own right, operating independently from Superman. Entering the Bronze Age, Supergirl is reshaped into a more confident, independent, working-class young woman, leaving the town of Midville behind and relocating to San Francisco. Working as a camera operator for KSF-TV, Kara begins her career while also balancing her superhero life and struggling with yet another Luthor, Natalia? Anyway, the niece of Lex Luthor, who is obsessed with her secret identity. Things will remain that way until she relocated herself to Chicago, opting to study psychology and redefining herself. But with all things, this era came to an end, and an end of an icon. During a multiversal catastrophe which resulted in the destruction of parallel universes, Kara Zor-El would sacrifice her life in an attempt to save Superman from the Anti-Monitor, a cosmic entity hell-bent on destroying all life and matter in the multiverse, dying in her cousin's arms. This moment of heroism hit the Earth 1 heroes hard, particularly her best friend Batgirl and her cousin Superman, who buried her body next to her parents on the colony of Rocket. And when reality is rebooted, her existence is completely erased from history, becoming somewhat forgotten. However, the universe couldn't keep her down. But in 2004, Kara Zor-El returns, and for a modern age. This Kara belongs to the New Earth, the new reality following the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths. This Kara we're reintroduced to about 20 years later is much different than her Earth 1 counterpart. Chronologically, she is older than Superman at the time of Krypton's destruction, wherein Brainiac destroyed the city of Kandor. Her father sends her to Earth when Argo City is attacked by Brainiac. However, during the trip, her rocket was caught by a kryptonite meteor, delaying her trajectory towards Earth and placing her in suspended animation. The result of this leaving her with the appearance of a teenage girl. This Supergirl struggles with identity, anger, and loss. Her path crosses with Power Girl, the Teen Titans, and the Justice League, and she even takes on the mantle of Flamebird while defending Kandor. During major events like Infinite Crisis, New Krypton, Blackest Night, and Brightest Day, Kara repeatedly faces destruction of her people, the death of her father once again, and the painful choice between Earth and her Kryptonian heritage. Each loss hardens her resolve but deepens her grief. Once more, Kara is the last daughter of Krypton. And like all things with DC, there was yet another reboot. The New 52 radically reshapes her origin, placing her arrival in Siberia and framing her as a displaced survivor who believes Krypton was destroyed only days earlier. Her emotional instability leads her through devastating mistakes, manipulation, exile, rage, and even time travel. At her lowest, she becomes a Red Lantern, consumed by fury, before slowly reclaiming control and reaffirming her compassion. Later storylines brought back the pre-crisis version of Kara during Convergence, positioning her once more as a multiversal protector whose fate remains deliberately unresolved. This New 52 Kara is raw but still heroic. Perhaps the most celebrated reboot would be that of DC Rebirth, which softens Kara without weakening her. This version of Kara lives in National City with the Danvers while she attends high school, operates as a superhero, and works with the Department of Extranormal Operations, also known as DEO, and interning with Cat Grant at Catco. During the events of Batman Who Laughs, Kara was infected by the toxins and turned evil, resulting in her getting fired from Catco and eventually finding her way to Star Labs, where she was cured. Perhaps her most notable arc is that of Woman of Tomorrow, which examines the soul of Kara. In this story, we see Kara is lost not physically but rather emotionally, and she feels alone, and with the support of Krypto, she searches for a purpose in life. What do you think of the Woman of Tomorrow? Let me know in the comments below. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share. And I'm out. Bye.